lizard creature. I think it's quite tough at the moment. We've seen quite a few lovely female leopards, but in terms of pure beauty, I think she's my favorite that we see on Safari Live. Look like she's hunting, but you must remember, all these big cats are opportunists. So even if she has made a kill and something happened to stumble across her path, she would definitely take advantage of that. See how she's just listening? Oh, come on, madam, step out into the golden light for us. Now you can see her coat's a little bit darker than Karula. Right, while she's snoozing, let's go back to Bushwalk, see what they've got.
How exciting is a leopard and lion on one show? I mean, we've spoiled for choice here. And talking about rare and exciting things, we bumped into this on the walk, and it's an absolute treasure. It's an elephant's bone, one of the bones in the legs of an elephant. Can you believe the size of this thing? Have a look at my skinny little legs in comparison to this. Let me turn it on its skinniest side so it's not too embarrassing. Have a look at that. Amazing, hey? Are we trying to decide here exactly which side this elephant leg goes? We think that what you're looking at right now, this is where the foot goes. This is what we think. That the bone is actually this way around, and it would operate like we're doing now. So front leg, this muscle, these muscles here would attach here, and these muscles here would attach here, and what it would give this elephant is the ability to bend its leg like this, and then put it down and lock it, so that it can put all its weight on its leg. 60% of an elephant's weight's on the front leg. And then it walks again, and it bends it, and it puts it down and locks it. And that's what we think. However, we don't know. I mean, how exciting is this? I don't find enough elephant skeletons to actually make a decision on that. And this is one of those things. I'm going to actually ask you, which part of the elephant's leg is this? Let me give you an idea of size, scale, hip height. One bone, can you imagine that? Have a look at this angle here. And let me turn it around, this angle here. And then let me just spin it slowly for you so that you can see what this looks like. So that you can actually help me. I think this will be a decider, is this here. You can actually help us decide which part of the elephant's leg is it. Is it this side, this side, this side, or this side? Me personally, and us, Herbert, myself and Brian, think it's this bone right here. And again, isn't that amazing? Truly incredible. Herbie's actually brought out another one just here. Alright. That is a hip joint, I think. A pelvis. This would have been the pelvic girdle, and the hip would have fitted in here. Although in an elephant, that is this way around. Ooh. My biology doesn't stretch to full-size examples. Might actually be the shoulder blade, to be quite honest with you. There's definitely a ball joint there. Don't know. But while you're looking at it and seeing what bones these could possibly be, please share those with us. Questions at WildEarthTV or the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. But while we're waiting for those answers to come through that I can share with everybody, you're going to back to Brent and lovely Inkanyeni.
So she hasn't moved, and I was just saying to VM when we were off air there, don't you love it when a good plan comes together? And we set out with the specific purpose of trying to find her on this sunset safari, and quite often those sort of plans can backfire, but fortunately today our luck has held true. So it's more than likely that she's making her way back towards her cubs that are unfortunately outside of our traverse area. But I said, we can only hope that she's got a kill, that she's going to fetch them. Tasha Michelle is wondering, do I know how old Inkanyeni is? If I remember correctly, she's about 10, maybe 11. But she is a very, very tired cat. She's falling over at the moment. But she is a very beautiful leopard. We were lucky enough to catch her on the move. I think the reason we missed her initially is that she was playing avoidance with a herd of zebra. See, even though she's half dozing, she's still listening very intently to everything around. Now, if she does, there is a strong possibility she might cross our southern boundary into Mala Mala. If she does do that, I definitely know what our plan will be, is that we're going to backtrack her. So to see if she does possibly have a kill, and she's heading back towards where her two cubs, I think they're about 9 months old now, where they have been hiding. Now, Nikki says when she opens her eyes, it looks like she has two eyelids and the one opens in the wrong direction. Nikki, I'm not sure what you're saying. We'll have to wait and have a look when she does it again, but I didn't notice anything too peculiar there. Of course, her eyes are very tightly shut at the moment. So even though it looks like she is absolutely fast asleep, she is still very much alert. Her ears are still functioning. And if any sort of slightly strange or untoward sound would cause her to open those eyes in an absolute flash. Iggy says, oh my word, this leopard is a stunning creature. She is indeed. That's why I know I'm probably going to get into trouble with this, but I think she's the prettiest leopard within our traverse area. And Iggy would also like to know, what does Inkanyeni mean? If I remember correctly, it means marula tree. She does have a tendency to like climbing marula trees. I'm pretty sure, yes, if I remember correctly, Inkanyeni is marula tree, not to be confused with Inkaya, which is a knobthorn tree. Oh, back to snooze. Just going to reposition slightly. Now she's got a 4-4 spot pattern, and what I'm referring to is the last line of spots above her whiskers, and that is one of the best ways to ID leopards. Although we are lucky enough to spend so much time with the leopards, quite often we can ID them just from having a quick look. And she is a very relaxed female. There we go. Look at that. So she's quite a decent-sized female for the Sabi Sands, and she's the daughter of the Beacon female, which apparently was the great grand dam or the queen of Buffalo's Hook originally. And I'm trying to see, she doesn't look like she's starving. Oh, I hope you guys got that. I think I missed it. I think I was a bit second too slow. She looks like she is actually quite hungry, so maybe she hasn't made a kill yet. Now, as we're a bit closer to her now, you can see one of the things that where leopards show their age is on their ears. So you start seeing tatters on her ears. Her ears are actually incredibly fluffy and good looking for a leopard of her age, but there are little nicks and tears in them. And the older a cat gets, generally it doesn't only have to be leopards, but lions as well, the more wear they start to show in their ears. But she is a remarkably good looking leopard with very little rips and tears in her ears for a leopard of her age. Here we go, there. Those incredible paws. All that armory is sheathed. Of course, like your domestic house cat at home, she's got retractable claws. There you go, you can see that very prominent 4 spots above the last line of whiskers. So she's 4-4 on both sides, right and left. There you go. Well, then, she's being very kind, showing us the other 4. And back to sleep. So now we're going to sit here to see what she gets up to. While we do that, let's go across to James, who's got some other cubs.
This is fantastic that you've got these 2 sightings, everybody, of our most iconic cats, of course. Brent said he was going to go to Cheetah Plains and look for Inkanyeni, and well, that's exactly what he did. The lion cubs are now very active. They've finished fighting over their milk, and I cannot see anyone with a limp. So the dire predictions of death for that cub who was injured at the buffalo kill did not come true, thankfully. I'm still trying to gauge the sex of all of them. They've all been playing with each other now and playing with sticks. They seem to get over their quarrels much more quickly than human beings do. They don't hold resentments. It's so sweet. And the mother's, of course, doing not much at all. The male fast asleep. He's got a nasty nick on his nose from that little fight they had. Now that's a knob thorn that lion is chewing, clearly not affected by the thorns that you and I wouldn't put our hands to, let alone our teeth. So I think you'll find that they have a far more resilient sort of pain threshold than ours. There you see, I used the word resilient again, Eggsy. Afternoon, Mike. There seems to be 2, or at least 1 leopard sighting on Buffalo's Hook with the Mvula, and these Nkuhuma Pride is on Nyala Road. 2 stations here, 1 making his way, but I will make space as soon as the next one comes. Alright everybody, we're going to stay here for a little bit longer. I might have to move out. If I don't, that's not a problem. Let's go back across to Inkanyeni, who is now moving.
She spotted something we can't see, and she's now stalking right next to us. I mean, she was literally 2 foot from the car. Now, I'm trying to stare into the bush to see what she's possibly seeing. As I said, there were a few steenbok around here earlier. But something really caught her attention. Oh, I just love watching the big cats and how they can move. I mean, she's not stepping on a leaf. The patience of these cats is incredible. I can't see a steenbok. Can you, Vim? Well, there's definitely something she can see that we can't. But just judging about how tall she's walking, it could be still quite far away. She gets closer, she'll get closer to the ground. Still can't see what she's looking at. Okay, she's far enough away from us that I can just move the car slightly. So we're going to keep our distance from her. We don't want to disturb what's going on. So whatever she's seen is in this area here. See, she's getting lower to the ground now. Now, hopefully it's... She's using, there's a dead marula in front of her that she's using as cover. I still can't see what she's stalking. Now, in this area earlier, there were warthogs, steenbok, and impala. Oh, there we go. The drongos are alarming at her. Yes, see, there we go. Just heard those fork-tailed drongos. Teev, 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 teev. And that was it. She's sort of gone to sleep. Okay, well, let's try to get a bit closer again. So whatever she was stalking, with the drongo's alarm calling at her, obviously alerted it, and it's moved off. Okay, so we're going to get back into a spot where we can have a nice visual of her. While we do that, Steph is still playing bush CSI with those very big bones.
Doesn't that look remarkably like the foot of an elephant or the skin of an elephant, when in actual fact it's the top of this bone? And we've got some answers that have come through our final control on what particular bone this is. And I just want to say thank you to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I'm sure that's not your real name, but anyway, we'll go with your answer. That this is the radius, the ulna. Now I know with elephants, the radius and the ulna, which are the 2 bones in your forearm, are fused, and that's exactly what we're looking at here. So our original guess was exactly right, and I just want to say thank you to you there, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, for allowing us to confirm that in actual fact. So this is exactly what it would be. This bone right here, fused. We've got 2. The elephant's is fused, and it used these big attachment points here and here for the muscles to lift that leg up and put it down, lock it. All right, we're quickly going to Brent. Inkanyeni's busy.
Okay, she just took off. at a high speed. Oh, there she is. But she took off like a flash. We still can't see what she's after. But she was lying down flat and then she shot off like a rocket. See that intense focus, and there from behind you can see there are a few nicks and tears in her ear. Such a beautiful outline. We're still not sure what she's been stalking. We haven't been able to see it. But in this area, it's most likely to be a steenbok or a duiker. I can hear a wildebeest snorting in the distance, but I don't think it's snorting at her. I just think he was snorting for the joy of being a wildebeest. Of course, we're quite close to Gnormnus area. Okay, she's going to lie down again, so we're going to move around to the front of her. Still just double checking to see if I can see what she's so interested in. Trying to find a way through here, thick there. Katja is saying, why do birds alarm call? Leopards don't hunt them. She can't see any evolutionary advantage in it. Well, Katja, they do, and especially when they're cubs, they hunt a lot of birds. And I don't know if you remember watching young Sindile. He was always up a tree trying to catch a bird, but you must remember that it's an evolutionary reaction to the shape of a cat, whether it be a big cat or a small cat. So serval and caracal and African wildcat hunt birds, and they have a similar shape to lion and leopard. That is why they will alarm call at a big cat like this that's unlikely to go for a small fork-tailed drongo, but an African wildcat would definitely try grab a drongo. Oh, look at that, she's looking right at us. Mark is wondering, how much time would a leopard spend stalking before giving up? Well, Mark, it completely depends. I've seen leopards stalk for 3.5 hours before giving up, and I've seen leopards stalk for 10 minutes before giving up. I mean, it completely depends on the prey and the area that they're stalking in. Where are you off to, madam? See if she comes up behind us before we move, or if she's going to pop her head up on top of that termite mound. See, she's still stalking. As I said, we have no idea what it is. Oh, look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous in the golden light? I'm jealous. You guys can get screenshots. I can't take photographs through VM. Oh, isn't that just too beautiful? She's got very fluffy ears. Almost looks like she's stalking VM. Of course she isn't, don't worry about that. But she's come around the back of the termite mound. She's still focused on something, as I said. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is yet. You can see how close she is to us. Wow. This is incredibly special. This is definitely the most amazing sighting I've ever had with this female leopard. Okay, well, we're going to keep... Oh no, she's back in stalk mode. No, she's going to lie down. So while she lies down, let's go back to James and the wonderful Inkahumas.
It is a great relief that Inkanyeni lay down, because these cubs are starting to get playful. We are going to have to leave just now, everybody. It's a 2-vehicle sighting, and there are 2 people coming to have a look here. So we're going to pull out as soon as the next person gets here. So let's just enjoy them for the last few minutes before we have to go, and we'll go see what else we can find. We might find some elephants or anything else. And just to keep you posted, you may have heard me talk on the radio there. I said Mvula was on Bivelshoek with a warthog. I was, in fact, telling the truth. Mvula is on Bivelshoek. He did kill a warthog today. It's his 2nd major kill in the last 3 days. And Shiluva is not too far behind. So I don't know if they're still mating or not, but they might be. And maybe Mvula is going to have some new little cubs. That'll be very nice. Still haven't got the complete sexing of these little cubs, because every time I think I get getting a handle on it, they start to sort of play around, and then I can't recognize one from the other. Hello, Aaron. A good question from you about whether the father of these lions of these cubs would protect them from other male lions. The answer, Aaron, is indirectly. Yes, they would. So indirectly, the father is defending this territory from marauding males. He would not... Well, I mean, look, if a marauding male came along across this sighting, he would absolutely fight for them. Would he be fighting for them, or would he be fighting for his territory? By fighting for his territory, he is achieving both ends at one time. So whether there's a conscious decision from him to try and protect these cubs, I don't believe so, no. But this is his turf, this is his territory, this is where he and his brothers have set themselves up. They dominate the Nkuhuma pride, the Styx pride, and most likely the Torchwood pride off to the east of us. And those are their 3 prides. And they will not put up with any incursions from other males, and that indirectly protects their cubs. Alright, everybody, we're going to have to leave now. So before this other vehicle gets in, we're going to start up and move back a bit so that they can get in. It's been a wonderful, wonderful afternoon with them. Phew! Just never gets boring with these cubs, does it? Alrighty. On we go. Watch the aerial there, Eggsy. I think what we'll do is probably head down to Buffelshoek Dam, see what's going on there, and while we do that, let's go across to Steph and find out what great thing he has managed to unfurl underneath a log or something like that.
Welcome back to the bushwalk, and while you're taking off some time with from Inkanyeni while she's doing what she's doing, it's a good time to come and hunt for ant lions. That's what we're going to do right now. That's what I feel like doing right here. And here's an ant lion's pitfall trap. And what that is, it is an insect that literally digs a pit like this by flicking sand up and then using the pitfall to trap other insects. I'm going to see if this one's at home. Let's see. So now what I'm doing is I'm simulating an insect that's fallen in there. Usually that's enough to do it. No luck. What's going on? Let down, exactly, Brian. Stir it around over there and see if we can see it. Sometimes if they're just a bit dormant or a bit full, they come up when you do that. But this one is an empty trap. Not that uncommon. Antlions move and dig new traps all the time, and it's because ants really respond to antlions. So as soon as an antlion colony comes around an ant's entrance, they'll just simply cave in the entrance and move off to find an easier place to hunt. Anyway, we'll also move off to find an easier place to hunt antlions, go and find some more soft spots. We've actually had quite a nice stroll since leaving that massive elephant bone, to be quite honest. Bush got incredibly thick though. The area that we were in just seemed like every elephant that has ever lived has walked through it and decided to pick a tree to smash down. And now we've come into a slightly better area, and you can actually see that although there are some trees that are pushed down by elephant, there's actually the vast majority of trees are not. And picture this nicely, remember what this looks like, because it is doing it again. You can actually see right here, this tree has had a slab of bark ripped off of it. And although this piece doesn't carry any more nutrients for the tree, more than half the bark is left. And you can see this thick area here, this thickened area here, has allowed the tree to compensate for the lost bark. So it's still growing very, very well. On that note, and something else that's growing very, very well, is Brent and Inkanyeni.
She's on the stalk again. She's literally been lying flat till a few seconds ago. Look at that, isn't that just beautiful? Now, one unfortunate thing is she is heading straight towards our southern boundary, and we're not far from it. Can you see her, Van? Okay, I'm going to try and get her on. Hi, Gracie, the birthday girl. Looks like all the animals have been out and about for you today, Gracie. Gracie would like to know if I've seen this leopard's babies. I have, Gracie. We've seen them, I think, only once on one of the early morning sunrise safaris, but then I've seen them another time as well. Oh, hold on, Vim. Okay, so here, unfortunately, is our southern boundary. Now, we know her babies are somewhere past this road. But hopefully, she's still going to where we can see her. She might come down the road next to us to use the big termite mound. Oh, she's just too pretty. And she seems to like the car as well. Keeps coming right next to us. So, on a positive note, whatever she's stalking looks to be inside Cheetah Plains. Look at that wonderful tail. She's got a very fluffy tip to her tail. And Gracie, that's for her babies to follow her so they can see it when she's walking through the bush. Ken in Oklahoma is wondering, when will she stop hiding her cubs? Well, Ken, when her cubs leave her, pretty much. So once they become independent adults. Till then, she will leave them in what she considers a safe place. The older they get, the less choosy they are with areas that they hide their cubs. The more just sort of leave them and scold them when they try to follow them. This is definitely one of the nicest leopard sightings I've had in a while. Perfect golden light, beautiful adult female. Now she's looking down towards the big open areas, and those stembok were earlier on the edge of those open areas. She spotted something else we can't see. In my binoculars, let me look down the road. She's now looking east. What could be there? I see some hornbills. Some starlings. Oh, she's looking back the other way. Now, look at that. You can see those beautifully shaped rosettes. The biggest ones being towards the center of her back. Okay, I'm just going to roll backwards slightly. So Tasha Michelle would like to know, do we see anything at all out there that she might be hunting? Well, the only thing we saw in this area, but earlier, before we found her, there were a few steenbok around. How's that, Finn? You happy with that? Perfect. Beautiful. We're getting a bit of that golden light on her face. I hope you guys are getting some incredible screenshots. I'm going to snap a picture. Don't even need a big zoom lens. She's so close to us. Way. Hello, pretty girl. She's heading into Mala Mala, and that's where her cubs were. But there's a very good chance she's going to be back across this boundary by tomorrow. We're going to stay with her as long as we can. Now, Roger's wondering, is she primarily looking, hearing, or smelling? I would say for leopards, it's sight and hearing probably are the two more dominant. special. It looks like she might be settling there. I'm just going to move it a little bit, see if we can get another view. I'm just trying to find a clear gap for you there, man. Oh, I think this is going to be some nice screenshots. Look at that. You can see how big that termite mound is. So I think she saw a stembok when she made that initial charge, and I think it might have run into that area. So we're going to sit here and just watch her from a distance. Unfortunately, she has crossed into Mala Mala. While we do that, let's go see how Steph's faring on foot.
We found one of these granddaddy trees and you caught me having a hug. Yes, I like hugging big old trees like this. You're looking at a couple of 100 years. Who knows exactly how many 100 years this tree has on us. Just look at this giant. I just want to give you an idea of exactly how much of a giant this is. Brian's going to go around the tree. That's my full circumference. I'm 6 foot from fingertip to fingertip. Herbie is about just under 6 foot, fingertip to fingertip. And look how much tree's left. Massive amounts. What do you reckon, Brian? How many more people? 4 people, 5 people?
At least 4.
At least 4 more people. So that's 6 people, the circumference of this tree. Yes, please. This is one of the giants here in the Kruger National Park. This is a fully mature, full-grown African ebony or jackalberry. Diospirus mispiliformis, that is the name of this particular tree. And isn't it an absolute wonder? Oh, just standing next to giants like this is enough to make you feel insignificant and all the things. To give you an example, this tree watched the first plane fly over South Africa, it watched the first car come into the Lowveld, probably saw the first people migrating into permanent settlements. It saw female leopard in these areas, saw all their cubs coming into this particular area. We were just saying where we'd even start to climb up this tree if we were being chased by a bunch of elephants. And I don't actually know where I'd start climbing this tree. I think we might actually, I said on one of the outer branches, Brian just laughed at me, which I think was probably exactly what he needed to do, ground me in some reality. We've been trying to estimate how heavy we think this particular tree is. Jackalberry wood is dense. I don't know exactly how dense it is. You know, compare it to leadwood at 1,400 kilogram per, or let's say that 3,000 pound per square meter or per square yard. What that would end up working out to, even if you halved that this tree is a couple of 100 tons, probably around about that. I do know that the biggest tree on Earth is also the biggest living organism in the universe as far as we know, and that is General Sherman, a sequoia redwood in North America. He weighs 2,500 tons. I don't think that this grandpa is quite that heavy, but I would wager that we're looking at a couple of 100 tons at least. Amazing. Anyway, that's my story for this afternoon, and we're going to be making our way back through to the lodge. We may have some time to squeeze in a segment or two, so I won't say goodbye just yet, but we are going to be making our way back, racing the sunset, and while that's happening, you're off to James. Have a nice time.
Now, everybody, there seems to be some form of family squabble going on over there. I must just say I'd have paid money to see Steph and Herbie trying to hug a tree together. Steph is not what one would describe as a hugger, I wouldn't say. So quite interesting to see the two of them awkwardly hugging the tree and therefore each other. Wonderful. Those are 3 Battalier, and they're a family of Battalier. We know that 2 of them, the mum and the dad, have a nest around here somewhere. I'm pretty sure the one on the left-hand side is one of their offspring from a long time ago, because they're all the adults are obviously over 7 years old. The youngster looks to be about 7 as well. We know that because they have all got their adult plumage, so that's quite special. No, now Eggsy, I'm going to challenge you deeply here. Look, you've got to get on that bird. I think it's a Wahlberg's eagle. I think it's the first Wahlberg's. It is, it's the first Wahlberg's, everybody. There it is. Ha 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 ha. The first Wahlberg's eagle, everyone, of the season. Have you got it on screen, Eggsy? Well done. Hooray! What's the date? It's the 18th. Gracie, if you're still watching, aged 9, on your birthday, the first Wahlberg's eagle of the new season has just arrived. Well, the first one we've seen. And you've got him on a tree there. Fantastic. Let's go back and have a look. Don't frighten him, Eggsy. Isn't that nice? I've been waiting for him for some time now. Let's go and have a look. Which tree did he land in, Egbert? One of those ones there. The far round one. Okay. Everyone, he's on the far round tree. Ah, I've got him. It doesn't look like a round tree, it looks like a stick. Okay, let's go and have a nice look at him, just confirm. I'll tell you how I identified him. Very thin tail, cross-like profile as he flies. So the wings don't bend like a vulture's. Well, he's quite a long way away, but we may still get a good look at him. That's wonderful. Very exciting. Let's quickly get just... It's not going to be a great view with this camera, but we should be able to get a view. Here we go. We'll just get past this lot. Alright, Eggsy, here you go. It's your moment to shine. Again. Are you sure that's the bird? It's starting to look rather awfully big. That's the Wahlberg's eagle. That's him. Look at the little cap on his back.
This is the far round tree behind us, and it seemed like he was sitting on that tree.
That's a tawny eagle, that's not a Wahlberg's.
That's the bird.
Eggsy?
Yes, sir.
Are you lying to me?
I am serious.
Eggsy says this is the bird that was flying and that landed over here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so deflated. That is a tawny eagle. I know that because of the different colours on his back. You can see them even at this distance, everyone. You can see very clearly the black on the back there and the brown. From such joy to such dreadful sadness. Never mind, everyone. We'll get through it. Gracie, I'm sorry about that. I thought it was a Wahlberg's eagle. I was fairly convinced, as you may have heard from my rather excited babbling. We could just, of course, pretend that Eggsy had seen the wrong bird land. I don't think he did, though, unfortunately. Sorry about that. I can't believe you've ruined my afternoon, Eggsy. Thanks so much. It was all going so well. We saw nice battaliers, beautiful lions, Wahlberg's eagle that morphed into a tawny. Thanks. Right. We're going to go off towards the west and see if we can find something else. While we do that, Inkanyeni is still on a termite mound, sitting in the golden light, like that tawny eagle that isn't a Wahlberg's eagle. See you just now.
Oh, poor James. Well, hopefully James does get to see the first Wahlberg's eagle of the year after that. But there she is. She's still sitting on that termite mound, posing beautifully. And while she's within sight, Wiem and I are not moving. Oh, yeah. What have you spotted, madam? Now there is a herd of zebra moving through where she's looking at the moment. I think that's what maybe she's listening to and looking at. Obviously doesn't want to go home to the cubs without any food. Definitely looking at the zebra. Well, I almost forgot we had a bird quiz on the go. We've got so distracted by this gorgeous female leopard. Now, James Richard is correct on both counts. It is the African pipit and a wood sandpiper. Now, Elaine, you were very close with the green sandpiper. So there's the green sandpiper, but the giveaway was the legs. The wood sandpiper with the yellowish, dull yellow legs. That was the giveaway. Anyway, oh, she's up. Enough of birds. She sat up. Oh, isn't that just too pretty? I can't help but take another picture. Come on, think about moving back to Cheetah Plains. Now, we want a Stenbok to appear behind us somewhere. One of the reasons we see so little of her is due to the fact a large amount of her territory falls within the Kruger National Park. Other than that, she traverses about half of Cheetah Plains. Tundi has the other half. And then most of Nkoro. And then into that southeastern corner of Torchwood. But then a lot of her territory is to the east in the Kruger. So I'm always very excited when we catch up with this exquisite leopard. Now, if we come out, you see how big this massive termite mound is. And William in Oregon is asking, how long does it take for a termite mound to get that big? Well, William, there's quite a lot of different... well, it's quite a heavy discussion point, but I've heard they can take up to 800 years to get that big, which would mean there was... it wouldn't... I'm just adjusting for far from here. But while we wait patiently with the Queen of the East, let's go to James, who's got the African sun disappearing over the western horizon.
That is not true, everybody. We do not have the African sun disappearing. We have the African sun that has, in fact, disappeared. In the past tense, it's gone. It's gone away. It's no longer with us. You can hear I'm still in a foul mood after my misidentification of that beautiful bird. Anyway, Higgsy, let's just have one. Don't look at my ugly mug at the moment. It's far too sad. Let's just have a look at the dimming horizon there. It's a stunning, stunning evening. It's still, it's warm, the hornbills are calling, but the sun is gone. You can hear just one brass section, one covey of crested franklins going. Take a deep breath in, Eggsy. That's it. Air is very clean and fresh. And it is just touched slightly with a slight hint of sweetness, and that comes, I think, from the knobthorn flowers that are just starting to come out. One or two guarri flowers starting to come, and they're the ultimate bird of peace, the ring-necked dove. Right, let's head back across to Stefan Winterboer. I hope that he and Herbert have managed to unentangle themselves from, well, the tree and each other. I think they want to say good night to you. We'll carry on towards the west.
Looking into the onrushing night you were having a look at over there. We've just been admiring the bush quietening down. We sit here, we were just having a bit of a chat about the day and quiet, settling down. There's always such a peaceful feeling out here in the African bush at sunset. Good idea to get out a gin and tonic or a cool drink or an orange juice or whatever it is that James refers to his evening beverage as being. Apple juice, there we go. Getting us apple juice out. And we've had such a fantastic day. Busy day out here in the African bush. Days are getting longer, thankfully. They are getting hotter. Today was about 76 degrees centigrade, I think, at its warmest. And we're looking at an increase in these temperatures up to October, up to and including October at least anyway. So we're going to have some warm days coming. And let's hope the rains come this year, because it will mean that the hottest days are in October and not in January. But anyway, from my side, we need to head back before it gets dark and we become part of the food chain again. So from myself, Steph, and from Brian and from Herbert, we just want to say thank you once again for all your questions. Thanks for replying on that elephant question there, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Much appreciated, confirming our CSI. And I just want to say, enjoy the rest of this evening's game drive with all these special cats that you're with. So all the best. Catch you next time.
So she still is sitting atop that massive termite mound, listening, looking to the south, which makes me a little sad. I wish she was looking to the north or to the west. Isn't this just the most serene setting? We come out wide as the sun's dipped below. We're looking at this female leopard looking over her domain. And I mean, you can see how absolutely massive that termite mound is. It is a beast. Definitely one of the tallest ones around. Oh, I wonder. Well, I hope on tomorrow's sunrise safari she brings those two cubs we've only seen once on the live drives back onto cheetah plains. So they're somewhere around this area. Now she's looking down towards a bigger open area behind. There is a little drainage system in the middle. And that's where the cubs could be. You can see some nice big jackalberries in it. Come on, come back, come back. Stenboks live on cheetah plains, not in Matamata. Or are you going to give us one last glance before breaking our hearts? Now, if any of you are new, you are looking at a female leopard live in the middle of the African bush. And if you're wondering about it, pop me a question. Questions at WildEarthTV on email, or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Now you can see through to the open area beyond there. It's just stunning with the winter colors. Now, are there any animals on the open area? Doesn't look like it just yet. She's looking back to the west. Was looking back to the west. That is a beautiful shot. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the composition, but that view really appeals to me. That wonderful orange of the bush willows, looking through to that large brown ivory without any leaves in the distance. Nice composition. It works for him. It really does. You can still hear the zebra moving through the bush. I'm going to almost just make out some stripes. Could make out some stripes. They disappeared in there somewhere. There we go. When I literally barely a stripe visible. Hi, Mimi. Mimi is 15 years old. Mimi would like to know, will leopards kill zebras? Very, very unusual, Mimi. Zebra is too big for a leopard, definitely too big for a female. Oh, she's coming down. Is she coming back towards us, Vim? Fingers crossed. Could we be that lucky? Vim, we're that lucky. I was convinced she was going to go south. Maybe I shouldn't get too excited yet. She might go back to the Kruger. Sorry, Mimi, I got distracted there. Zebras are a bit too big unless there's a baby zebra, and even then, for a female leopard, a baby zebra is even sometimes a bit big. And zebras can be very aggressive, and they'll defend their babies against predators, specifically small predators. There's only one leopard I know of, was a massive male who used to kill baby zebras regularly. And he was probably double or triple, no, not triple, double the size of what she is. Now she's walking towards where those zebras are. I'm going to try it. She's not hunting. You can see she's not going into that stalk mode. But we might get an awesome screenshot of stripes and spots. She's still walking. She's standing still. I've lost sight of her. She's still on the road? Okay. I'm just going to move so we get the possibility of stripes and spots. That would be a good one. We can just see her tail. Here she comes. I see she's gone off into the bush slightly to avoid the zebra from spotting her. And she's coming straight back to Cheetah Plains. I said, oh, I shouldn't get too excited. She might go into Kruger. Oh, there we go. Zebras have spotted her. You hear that snort? There still is the possibility of the stripe in the spot. Then if we come out quickly, there we go. Stripes and spots. Hello, lady. Oops, sorry, I was trying to get my head out of the way. No, don't go that way. She's heading east, and the majority of her territory is in the Kruger Park. We'll stay with her as long as we can. So not heading back to pick up the kids just yet. She's got no dinner for them. So we're right on the Kruger National Park boundary now. As I said, we're going to stick with her as long as possible, but you can see she's heading towards the boundary. But if she walks along the boundary, we can stay parallel to her. But looks like she's got other plans. There we go. Moving into the mixed woodland of the Kruger National Park. Now, with the cubs still on around that open area to the south, there's a very good chance she might be in this area again in the next day or so. But as she melts into the African bushveld and to an area unfortunately we cannot follow, let's go see how James is faring on Djuma.
It's that beautiful, perfect, wonderful time of the day, everyone. The changing of the guard, the sun has gone down, the last of the Drongos are calling. And that there is a hole where we found a lilac-breasted roller setting up a nest this morning. And just fluttering down, he's obviously inside or perhaps away, collecting nesting material. But just beyond there, in fact just at the base, there's a Drongo flying. I'm just going to try and roll forward. And this Drongo, the Drongos love to come onto the ground at this time of the day. We'll spot it, Eggsy. Not quite a Wahlberg's eagle. But they love to come onto the ground at this time of the day. I don't really know why, but they're the last birds to stop calling, the last diurnal birds to stop calling. And they're always low down, just before the darkness falls. It's just the most wonderful time of the day, and if you ever come to Africa, or maybe it's the same wherever you are, but for me, to be silent around this time of the day and contemplate things, oh, it's just perfect. Just hear the odd Drongo calling out a little bit like a, look at that, calling out like a pearl-spotted owl. And maybe there are a couple of insects that have come out at this time of the day that stick low to the ground. Maybe they emerge from the ground, and that's why the Drongo is sitting there. He's definitely hunting. That forked tail really helps him with hawking insects in the air, so that means flying and catching them on the wing. I'm just going to roll down the road and you'll see what I mean. There are a whole lot of them on the road in front of us, flying to and fro in the last of the day's light. You see there, Eggsy? There's one on the bush there that you can see, that small scraggly bush. Here comes another one into screen. That's it. Eggsy's on fire. And the one on the road's back there, Eggs. There we go. See, he's staying low to the ground. I wish we had electric cars. We'd drive at this kind of volume all the time. Looking for little bits, little insects coming up off the ground. I'm not sure what insects they are and why they happen to be on the ground at this time of the day. Has anybody got an idea? It'd be great to know from you. Isn't that cool? It's doing a Franklin call now, a bad one. They're not great mimics. They attempt valiantly to mimic birds. I'm not making things easy for Eggsy by moving while he's trying to film a moving bird. Anyway, that's the fork-tailed Drongo in the dusk. Isn't that nice? I think it's very nice. We're going to go past Treehouse Dam now, see what's going on there. I don't think much, but I was rather hoping Karula might come back across here. She hasn't spent much time on Djuma recently, and so perhaps she'll come back during the night and kill something and feed it to her babies on Djuma tomorrow. Oops. As I said to you this morning, not always easy to look you in the eye and drive in a straight line. There's another Drongo to our right-hand side. Oh, gosh, sorry, Eggsy. I'm going to leave him, though. There's another one. Oh, silly bird, it just flew away, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. I'll pick up a head of steam again. Let me help us along, Eggsy. Thanks for the help, Eggsy. No, you did nothing. You just sat there like a passenger. It's not safe to get out of the vehicle, that's correct. Good. Well done. Your instincts were absolutely correct. For you to get out from where you're sitting and back on again without doing yourself an injury would have been almost impossible. Come on, Wendy. There she goes. That's it. Well done. Right. While we're wheeling Wendy down the road, let's go across to Brent Lea Smith and find out if he's heading back to the west or still with that beautiful leopard.
Well, what a fantastic sunset safari. VM and I had a thoroughly amazing time, and it was quite special. We were right on the edge of Cheetah Plains on the boundary of the Kruger, and we also got very lucky. We were so far away that we had that leopard all to ourselves for that whole sighting, which is always a special thing. Not that we don't like sharing, but it is quite special to be able to just spend that amount of time by yourself with a big cat in that beautiful light. Saw some amazing behavior, but the one downside of being where we were is we actually were as far away as we can get from Djuma and from camp as possible. Guess probably driving distance, about how far do you reckon, Vim? You think driving? Yeah. I think it's a bit further than that. I'd say as the crow flies probably 8. I think driving maybe 10, 12 k's. Wait, oh we don't. Our odometer stopped working on this car many years ago, so we can't actually measure it. It would be quite an interesting thing to measure. Vim, you're going to have to fix the odometer on the Land Rover. You think you can do it? Oh, use my cell phone. I didn't think of that. Now I feel sheepish. Oh, well, I have to do it from there next time. Start with the beginning. Yes, that wasn't very clever. But we are going to do one last gander past 3 in a row pan. You never know. There might be something spectacular there. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Q might make an appearance before the end of the safari. There could be some eddies. We're not too far away from it now, probably about a minute. And we've already layered up. It's getting quite chilly. The temperature's dropping rapidly as the sun disappeared. There we go. We're arriving at 3 in a row pan now. Who knows, we could see another smaller spotted cat. I know Jamie's seen Serval around here a couple of times. Also could see some jackal, which we've seen at this time of the day around 3 in a row pan. Okay, we're approaching the pan now. Eyes are peeled. What awaits us at the water's edge? Unfortunately, nothing. So there we go. This is where we're hoping to find something, but there's nothing. So VM and I are going to hit the long road back to the west. Hopefully everyone in camp has made a fire for us, because I think we're going to be half popsicles by the time we arrive home. But it has been definitely worth it spending that time with that incredible female leopard. So from VM and myself on the Rust Bucket, we'll see you bright and early for the sunrise safari. Wait, honey badgers! What's wrong? Just today is the gift that keeps on giving. There's another one coming to the road. That's a little one, a young one. Get my spotlight. We'll see if we can get another view of them. Oh, VM! Well spotted. Oopsie. I'm so excited, I'm stalling. They're excited about something. See the tails up. The one on the right is probably a sub-adult. There's Mom digging. Is she going to find something for the little one to eat? Nope, nothing in that hole. Mom, I'm hungry. Let's try one last peek. Oh no, I can't see them. Can you see them, Vim? Oh, there. I think I saw an eye. There they are. Got them there? Look at that. You can see the eye shine. Look, that's a young one. One with its tail up. Oh, it's having a silly moment. Ha ha ha! No, they're disappearing into the bush through there. Wow! Well, let's try that again. From VM and myself, from the most spectacular cheetah plains that has provided us with incredible leopard, and now just a honey badger bonus towards the end of the safari. We will see you bright and early tomorrow. Toodles.
What a spectacular sighting. Marvellous. Honey badgers? We haven't found any honey badgers, have we, Eggsy? We did find another 3 or 4 drongos, though, which we were very pleased about. Well, I was. Eggsy just went, there's another one. He also has not spotted a Wahlberg's eagle. Hello, Gracie, aged 9. You say, don't be in a yucky mood about this bird. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're absolutely right, Gracie. Especially not on your birthday. And I'm glad, I hope you've had a good birthday drive. I think we've had some wonderful things for you. Elephants, and lions, and lion cubs, and Inkanyeni the leopard, and fork-tailed drongos, and a tawny eagle, not a Wahlberg's eagle. Poor old Eggsy, it really is not his fault. We're going to go up onto the quarantine clearings and just enjoy the last embers of the day. There is a smell in the air, everybody. It is definitely the first harbinger of the spring. It is sweet, it is subtle, and I think it's the knobthorn trees, but I don't see any knobthorns around us right now, so it might be something else, but it is just delicious. Oh, and a bit of potato, also a bit of smell of the potato bush. So we'll just pull up here and then we'll stop and say goodbye to you. There we are. Alright everyone, that's going to be it from us today, not us from it today. Thank you, Eggsy, for destroying my life today. It's been a pleasure being on drive with you. Big thanks to Brent and VM for their spectacular work on Cheetah Plains, and a big thanks to Rebecca and Louise in the final control. To all of you especially for your questions and comments and coming on drive with us. It's been great to talk to you. Gracie, happy 9th birthday. We'll see you tomorrow for the sunrise safari at 6 o'clock.